recently is the Abia state government desire to build an airport somewhere in the state, which has caused serious uproar amongst the indigenes of Nsuulu in Isialangwa North local government area, who have accused the state government of land grabbing. Well, the issue of land grabbing, and we're asking, is there a way of resolving this matter, since the project will be to the benefit of the state government? Following the proposed siting of an airport in some parts of Nsuulu, Isialangwa North local government area of Abia State, landowners from the 8 communities that the airport project encroached their ancestral lands have kicked against the project, citing likely destruction of their farmlands and unfair treatment by administration in the state. There was wide protest in Umuezenta, Umuomain Tambalsi, Nsuulu. That's over the weekend, as women, men, youth in the involved communities came out in the large numbers with cassava leaves, among others, singing war songs and asking the chief executive of Abia State, Governor Alex Uti, to rescind his decision of plotting to use any land under Nsuulu.
From Okay. So the reason is that they did not come to the appropriate way or calling the people that matters on it. They went to small boys and they said, so we don't know exactly what is happening. Only today they came here that we know what is happening.
In other words, they're saying the leaders of the community were not consulted before.
Exactly, they do not.
So they don't understand what is happening until now.
Exactly.
Okay. So now that you've understood, do you people, would you welcome the idea of an airport in this community?
They will give us time, then we'll go and discuss. After discussing them, we'll let them know. We would like to call a sort of town hall meeting.
Okay, it is believed from the notions out there that places like Nsuulu Gangs Village have been also earmarked for projects than this particular one. Yeah. The concerns raised here is that the area mapped so far is a farming area. So what alternative would you want the government to adopt at this moment if it must leave this area?
Anyway, we are giving so many lands. There's another one we gave at Amogu. They say it's Abia Airport. Nothing has been done there. There's a place, there's a fashion land for this airport that I'm talking of before.
Okay.
Nothing's been done there. Then what? They came here again for this particular one. That is why we are not happy. One, the project have already taken first before jumping. More especially here is our farmland. Development is good, but you cannot take the whole places. You are talking of farming, and you are dying of hunger. Then the whole land is out. Then where will we farm to feed our children?
Sir, the chief of staff said this project has been on since the beginning of this year. That
can our youth, our sons, we will consult our sons, but the father of the land is alive. It's not right. They're not doing it in the appropriate way. They have to consult us. They have to talk with them.
Those were the protesters at Nsuulu. Those are indigenes of Nsuulu, where the proposed site for the airport is supposed to happen, and they are saying, no, we do not want the airport project. Government abandoned us for a very long time. Now they want to come and take our land to establish, build an airport. Maybe they are not seeing the other side of the fits. I mean, if you're talking about government abandoning you, and now government has remembered you to build an airport, I think it's part of the development which you've been yearning for. But then again, I'm just wondering what would happen to those that will, their farmlands will be donated for this particular project. What will be their fate eventually? Because, I mean, these people depend on farming for daily survival. Well, we are still expecting the Honorable Commissioner for Lands. He's supposed to be here in the studio to address some of these concerns raised by the protesters. But however, Samson actually was at Nsuulu, and he covered that particular incident, what happened at Nsuulu, and he's here. Samson, good morning. Welcome to the program. I'm just wondering, you saw what the people, one of the protesters said, you cannot be negotiating with a son when the father is still very much around. I don't know what you make of that particular statement.
Well, if that is the situation, that means that the people may not have spoken to the real owners of the land, because part of the allegation is that the people who are real owners of properties or parcels of land around the designated site were not consulted. Rather, the government was alleged to have been speaking with people who are not even members of the affected areas. So that has been the issue, and I think nobody, if you even look at it, it sounds laughable, like the situation where some communities are crying for government presence, and you have an airport. You have an airport designated you, and people are kicking against it. So you need to go back and ask what could make people kick against such important recognition. And again, they say that there is another land. There is another land provided for that airport project, and nothing has been done there. The government should take that one. Take that. They did not. It's just opposite. Just across the road, that Makama side. Because even after the program, myself, Emmanuel, Mazwe, and a couple of other journalists to drive through that area. It's bushy, more like forest, but they said it's their farmland, ancestral farmland.
Okay,
no problem about that. But the people we saw that day, as they like people who actually needed to be consulted. Like if you speak with them, if the government engages them fully and completely, wholly, I'm sure they would buy into the project. But right now that you want to have their property and you're not speaking with them directly, I think they should look at it again. I equally observed some level of compromise.
From where?
Some persons in the community already seemed compromised. Okay. So maybe the government did not get the right information.
Don't they have a traditional ruler?
They have a traditional. The traditional ruler is in support of government.
Okay.
And then the people are now alleging that the traditional ruler did not consult them. That's an allegation.
Okay.
And the traditional ruler has no property there, and he did not consult the real owners of the properties. So that is why we need to hear from the government to ascertain the true state of affairs. I hope that the commissioner makes it to the studio, ascertain the true state of affairs, because survey work is already ongoing. Actually, the chief of staff, I heard that that place where they had the protest is his maternal village. So he was on ground to appeal to them. He kept talking to them. They listen? Well, they listened to a point, and I am believing that it's just a way of reinventing the negotiation process. If that style is not working, find another way of speaking to them. I'm very sure that the people would listen if they are spoken to in a manner that they would want to. Firstly, if you own a property there, go and stand on your property and let's do a head count. Or the government can go back and look at it.
If they're accusing, in quotes, allegedly accusing the government of land grabbing, do you grab a land that belongs to you? Because obviously that's what they are talking about.
Well, this is a democratic process anyways. They can go to court, no doubt about that, but it's a democratic government. And so
what's the likelihood of them winning that matter in court? I mean, government owns every land. If they decide to take any land, we should be talking about compensation.
If you have a surveyed land with proper deeds and all the documents, and government wants to take your land, they should pay you compensation.
I think that is where they should be talking.
But again, that location for the airport seems beautiful.
Oh, really?
It seems beautiful.
Maybe you can just give us
it's
an illustration of how
it's a plain
table land.
Yes, Yes.
Okay. Is it closer to the city center?
You know the Amakama.
Yes,
and so it looks quite central. Central to the beehive of activities in Aba, and if you want to connect to Umuahia, it will be fine. And I've said it that the airport project for Abia State is important actually. It will look like the most, after Enugu Airport, the most viable, because who are the people patronizing the Imo Airport at the moment? Just a couple of persons in Imo. The rest are people from this side. Aba in particular.
It's going to give a bad market for Imo.
No, every state would have had their own airport.
So
you can now have maybe what is it called? Mass transportation to your own airport. Every state would have had their own airport, which is not a bad thing to do.
Pastor Korugo Aji is the Special Assistant to the Governor of Lands and Housing, and also the State Coordinator for the Abia Airport in Nsuulu. He's already here in the studio. Good morning, Pastor. Thank you so much for actually joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning. It's my great pleasure to be here.
All right. Welcome. Let's get an overview of what's going on at Nsuulu, where government intend to site that Abia Airport project. What's going on? Have you been able to resolve this issue? The people were actually protesting over the weekend that they do not want that project in their community. What's going on?
Yeah, thank you very much. Last Saturday, when we got to our site to start the cutting of traces, after a series of community engagement, some people, came up and said that they don't want an airport. However, after discussions with those people that came, the matter was quelled, and our men started work on site. As we speak now, is day 4 of work on at the proposed site.
Okay, so you are confirming that matter has been settled?
Oh, sure. The matter has been settled, fully settled.
They were talking about not consulting widely. You didn't consult them. You were actually speaking to the wrong people. And one of them said, how can the government be negotiating about our land with the son when the father is still very much around? That obviously goes to say that you were actually not speaking to the right people.
Yeah, there are, in situations like this, there are many voices that you will hear. But as far as this government is concerned, we have done so much in community engagement. We have had series of engagement with the leaders of the community, with the traditional rulers and the community heads. We also went the extra mile to meet with the youth of the community. Yeah.
Okay, so what about the issue of compensation? Are you thinking towards that direction? Because it appears that yes, we understand that government owns every land, but in a situation like this, these people said this is their farmland. They depend on farming for their daily livelihood. So if you're taking this, what are you giving them in return? So all this, why would you do this?
Yeah, if you follow the trend of this administration, His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti is somebody that follows due process. And in terms of these acquisitions, you are all living witness of what is happening in Abia State now. Let me take you back a little to Osa Road, the Mission Hill, JT Agri University Boulevard. You see that all the structures that were affected, compensation was paid to the last 1 naira.
Okay.
As we speak now, the Owaza project, Abia Industrial Innovation Park, the compensation, is the compensation is about to be paid. Okay. And we are looking at paying the compensation within the next few days.
Okay.
This particular one is not an exception at all.
Okay.
His Excellency has said any acquisition that will be done, compensation will be paid. And that is what the law said. It's the person that runs with the rule of law. The law says the governor has the right to acquire land in any location in the state for overriding public interest. That's the Land Use Act.
Yes.
And when that is done, the compensation is paid to whoever is the claimant, and that is what is being prepared, for this Nsuulu.
Okay, so before we open the phone lines, I also know that we are talking about compensation now. Let's tilt a bit. We are still talking about the issue of compensation. Now, I know that the governor will be doing some flag off today. One should be at the second phase of the Towa Onimo axis. I understand that project is supposed to be flagged off today. Have you paid compensation as well?
No. Flagging off is different from payment of.
Okay, so work can continue
even if it doesn't continue. The flag off is to let you know that this will be done. However, the enumeration for properties in that area has been done.
Okay.
Totally. And His Excellency is going to pay for that place too. Yeah.
And before you pull down any structure in that area, you will have to pay compensation, right?
Adequate.
Okay, so nothing will happen there until compensation is paid.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. Compromise. Are you suspecting any compromise? Hence, we had that protest from the villagers and the indigents in Nsuulu.
There is no knowledge of that. You know, I have no knowledge of any compromise.
Are you sure nobody was trying to sabotage the
No, not at all. Not from the government side and from the community airport side. No way.
So what I said, airport will bring all the things that is mentioned here, the good road and government presence. What else are they complaining? People should be wise. Never you allow one or two groups of politicians to deny the people the opportunity to get involved.
The entire land now should be taken from the city, comprising 9 big communities that has to do with about 8,000 people. Let me tell you the implications. When this is done, so many families, all that they have inherited from their forebears will be lost, including the burial grounds of their loved ones.
Okay.
And when you now succeed in displacing them and complete the effort, how many people are you going to employ as individuals?
Okay, all
So
right.
what we are saying is that let them do the right thing and then follow the initial philosophy and plans of this record.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. SMS line, David in Nsuulu. He said, good morning, gentlemen in the studio. Permit me to say that my people have been given much land to the government, yet Nsuulu people are yet to witness good infrastructure in Nsuulu. For instance, the Nsuulu Games Village is wasting. David in Nsuulu. Now, Essay, you heard what the people are saying. What happens to that place? There's an allocation somewhere around the Nsuulu axis given to the last administration. Do you abandon that area?
Yeah, thank you very much. There are a lot of things that are being considered in construction of an airport.
Okay.
An airport is not just a motor park. There may not be time for me to begin to enumerate the things that are involved. So most of those tests were run on that land and they didn't pass. So that's why it had to move to another location. So if the tests that were run on that land, were okay, that airport would have been there.
Okay.
So that's why that old location is not suitable for what
now that you started surveying that area, that means work should start any moment from now.
No.
Okay.
No, work is not starting now. What we are doing, the people didn't get how the detail, or not the detail per se, the concept. Thank you very much. There is a plan. There's a perimeter survey plan. But before you know what that perimeter survey plan translates to, you have to go to the ground to follow the trace that you got, and then go around. It is while you are going around that you will know the villages that are involved or that will be involved, and it is after that process. Now, as soon as the perimeter survey is done, the cutting of the traces is done, then we now know who to talk to.
Okay.
There are some people that their land do not fall within the areas designated for this project, and we cannot be talking to everybody until we know who owns what we're taking. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we are really out of time. The program did start quite early. We're actually waiting for the Commissioner for Lands, but instead we have the Special Assistant. Well, let me sincerely thank you, the Special Assistant to the Governor on Lands and Housing, and also the State Coordinator for the Abia Airport project in Nsuulu, Pastor Okorugo Aji. Thank you so much, Pastor, for coming on the show. We do really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.